Today on Rappler, the Philippines challenges China, be responsible and accept arbitration on the South China Sea. A survey shows the Philippines and its Asian neighbors favor the United States over China. And Queen Elizabeth II gives her royal nod to gay marriage in Britain. Hello, I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. The latest on the South China Sea word war between the Philippines says China has no choice but to subject itself to international law to show it's, quote, a responsible nation. Philippine Foreign Affairs spokesman Raul Hernandez says it must show to the international community its respect for the rule of law to clearly define respective maritime entitlements in the South China Sea. Hernandez's comments come after Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Hua Chunying criticizes the Philippines for supposedly changing its, quote, attitude and approach towards the territorial row. It's the Philippines' second statement in its latest exchange with China, just days after the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea began hearing Manila's case against Beijing. In a statement Thursday, Hernandez says China can end the South China Sea dispute by, quote, defining what the core issue is. He adds, China claims indisputable sovereignty over nearly all of the South China Sea, an excessive claim in gross violation of international law. Hernandez says this is the core issue raised by Foreign Secretary Albert Del Rosario in the Association of Southeast Asian Nations meetings in Brunei. A study released Thursday shows the Philippines overwhelmingly favors the United States over China. In the Pew Research Center's Global Attitudes Project survey, 85% of Filipinos have a favorable view of the U.S. The sentiment is shared in varying degrees by Asian neighbors, some with territorial disputes with China. In all regions surveyed except the Middle East, the United States is regarded more favorably than China. Meanwhile, only 48% of Filipinos say they have a favorable view of China, a 37 percentage point difference compared to the favorability rating of the United States. Justice Secretary Laila de Lima says Ben-Hur Luy, the whistleblower in the multi-billion peso pork barrel scam, agrees to go under the Witness Protection Program or WPP.
We were advised by the lawyer, Attorney Levy Baligod, that they will now be coordinating with the WPP office for the purpose of putting under WPP coverage.
De Lima's statement comes after news reports about Luy's expose of a pork barrel scam allegedly hatched by Janet Lim Napoles. The scam involves the use of billions of pesos worth of Priority Development Assistance Funds, or PDAF, by lawmakers in ghost projects by alleged fake non-governmental organizations. On Wednesday, Napoles, through her lawyer, Attorney Bruce Rivera, denies any involvement. De Lima says the National Bureau of Investigation gathered documents about the alleged scam after Ben-Hur submitted his first set of affidavits. But she adds she could not comment on the strength of the documents because she has not seen all of them.
Hindi rin tapos pa yan. Kahit nagkaroon na ng reso at the prosecutor's level, nag-motion for reconsideration si Ben-Hur tsaka yung NBI before the same panel or before the same prosecutor. So may proseso pa yan, hindi pa tapos yan.
De Lima rejects Napoles' appeal for a different set of NBI team to investigate the alleged scam. What do the lawmakers tagged in the pork barrel scam have in common? Well, for Vice President Jejomar Binay, all of them are not allied with the administration. In an interview Wednesday, Binay says he made the observation after seeing news reports tagging several lawmakers, some from his coalition, the United Nationalist Alliance, to the scam. Binay adds, what I cannot figure out is why many of them are not their allies. Let's see, this is the subject of an investigation. Binay's fellow UNA leader Juan Ponce Enrile and UNA party mates Senator Jingoy Estrada and Senator Gringo Onasan are among those named in the Philippine Daily Inquirer reports about the scam. Onasan says the reports were malicious and politically motivated. The other senators named in the report, Senator Bong Revilla and Senator Bongbong Marcos, say the scam is a demolition job in the run-up to the 2016 elections. Incoming Senate President Franklin Drilon speaks about the challenges and plans the 16th Congress faces when it opens next week. Drilon, a third-term lawmaker, says the challenge is to continue the gains achieved by the Aquino administration.
We must address this perception, not only perception, but probably reality, of a non-inclusive growth. You still have a high unemployment ratio. The point is, I think we have successfully laid the foundation and we continue to do so. We have gone through this boom and bust cycle. I see an opportunity in the next 2 years to solidify the gains of the past. Because let's face it, starting 1 year before the next election in 2016, you just have to cross your fingers. I don't think that much will be achieved in terms of policy reforms. I would like to seize this opportunity with the strong leadership, strong credible leadership of the President to finally institutionalize the reforms that he has started.
Drilon also comments on the 10 billion peso or $230 million pork barrel scam. Although some lawmakers call for an internal probe, Drilon is against the idea.
I am not comfortable with the Senate investigating itself. We will have a clear conflict of interest if we conduct our own investigation. Whatever the result of our investigation will be, people will not believe. You know, they'll say this is an old boys club, whatever. You know,
yes.
Even. But remember, at this stage, these are all allegations in media.
Yes.
My position, Maria, is let the NBI, let the Ombudsman finish the investigation. At that point, after they finish the investigation, we decide whether to conduct our own investigation. No, I would not want the Ethics Committee to look at it at this time.
I see. At this time. Among the key measures for the 16th Congress, Drilon wants to work on the Bangsamoro peace process. On July 13th, the government and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, the MILF, signed the wealth-sharing annex, one of 4 annexes needed for the final peace pact. Drilon says once the peace agreement is completed, Congress needs to amend the charter of the autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao to conform with the framework agreement. The organic.
We will support fully the peace process. One of the priorities that we will have to tackle is once the peace agreement is completed, we must immediately buckle down to work in order that we can amend the Organic Act to conform with the peace agreement. There are no, and therefore, my strong suggestion is that while this is ongoing, the executive branch should engage Congress, because at the end of the day, Congress will have to pass the law which will amend the Organic Act. We should not miss the opportunity of having a final peace agreement in Mindanao. It's difficult to bring it back to this environment if
this is a key moment. Yes.
Yes.
What about FOI? Responding to the plans of the new minority to possibly refuse committee chairmanships in the Senate, incoming Senate President Franklin Drilon says the decision is up to their members. Drilon's comments come after Senator Nancy Binay said the minority may refuse committee chairmanships to focus on checking the work of the committees. In a press forum Thursday, Drilon says that is a decision they will have to make. We will just have to face that challenge if they would not accept committees. Senators Binay, Tito Soto, Jinggoy Estrada, Gringo Anasan, and JV Ejercito will form the Senate minority. Resigned Senate President Juan Ponce Enrile will lead the minority. In the 15th Congress, the minority was not perceived to be critical of the majority. This time, the new minority promises to be more active in assessing the performance and bills of the Senate majority. The Department of Education may miss its target of addressing classroom shortage by the end of 2013 because of delays caused by bad weather and procurement processes. The department says there's a shortage of 66,800 classrooms at the beginning of the Aquino administration in mid-2010. As of June 30th, 2013, around 43,000 classrooms have been constructed. Education Assistant Secretary Jesus Mateo says officials are speeding up construction because typhoons may hit the country in September. But Assistant Secretary Tonesito Umali says the new target is to have around 23,000 rooms finished by March 2014. DepEd adds 1 billion pesos to the annual 2 billion peso fund allotted for the construction of regular school buildings. Let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 2, no bulletproof Pope Mobile in Brazil. The Vatican says Pope Francis will travel in an open-top Jeep during his 7-day visit to Brazil, which starts July 22. In a briefing, Vatican spokesman Federico Lombardi says, "We are going to Brazil with confidence in the authorities' ability to manage the situation. This is the Pope's choice in continuity with what he is doing here." Lombardi says the Pope prefers to have contact with the crowd. The Pope's first foreign trip coincides with World Youth Day, which will be celebrated in Rio de Janeiro. More than 1 million young people from 170 countries will be attending. At number 3, violent protests erupt in the Indian state of Bihar after 22 children died and dozens more got sick after eating a free lunch believed to be contaminated with a chemical used in pesticides. The BBC reports hundreds of villagers set 4 police vehicles on fire during the protests. The school's cook says she thought a new type of cooking oil caused the poisoning. The children show symptoms of organophosphorus poisoning. A doctor at the district hospital says organophosphorus is a compound also used as a pesticide for crops. Even a small quantity of it would prove fatal for small children. At number 4, in a letter reportedly addressed to Malala Yousafzai, senior Pakistani Taliban leader Adnan Rashid says she was attacked because she ran a smear campaign against the Taliban and not because she advocated education for girls. In October 2012, then 15-year-old Malala was shot in the head as she rode home on a school bus. The letter, released to CNN by a Pakistani intelligence source, was given just days after Malala spoke before the United Nations. Its authenticity could not be independently verified. The letter says, the Taliban believe you were intentionally writing against them and running a smear campaign to malign their efforts to establish an Islamic system in the Swat Valley, and your writings were provocative. You've said in your speech that the pen is mightier than the sword, so they attack you for your sword, not your books or school. And at number 7, Rolling Stone magazine's newest cover boy, Boston bombing suspect Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, sparked outrage in social media, prompting the magazine to defend its latest cover story. The Rolling Stone article, titled "The Bomber," is a 12-page account of Tsarnaev's life based on interviews with sources that, quote, deliver a riveting and heartbreaking account of how a charming kid with a bright future became a monster. Some say the move glamorizes terrorism, but Rolling Stone says the article, quote, falls within the traditions of journalism and Rolling Stone's long-standing commitment to serious and thoughtful coverage of the world's most important political and cultural issues of the day. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. Britain legalizes gay marriage Wednesday after Queen Elizabeth II gave her royal approval to a bill approved by lawmakers, paving the way for the first same-sex weddings in 2014. Lawmakers in Parliament's lower House of Commons formally approved the bill Tuesday night, a day after the upper House of Lords gave its nod. The first gay weddings are expected in the middle of next year after the government sorted out issues such as the impact on pensions. Culture Minister Maria Miller says, quote, this is a historic moment that will resonate in many people's lives. The musical Rock of Ages opens again in Manila to brisk ticket sales and rave audience reviews. Rappler's new entertainment columnist G. Tonji reports.
I'm at the Carlos P. Romulo Auditorium in Makati for Rock of Ages, the repeat run for its opening weekend. More and more Filipinos are discovering theater, and this is the kind of musical that may be the reason why.
Rock of Ages first came to Manila in 2012. Audience reception then was phenomenal. This year, it opens again to sold-out audiences. Phil Ozzy Mig Ayesa returns as Stacy Jacks. He also did the Broadway and national tours for North America. He says Rock of Ages cuts across boundaries.
Now that's one thing that's definitely the same of any audiences with this show anywhere around the world where I've played it, is that, you know, by the end of the show, everyone's up on their feet, dancing, screaming, having the best time.
Mainstream artists Vina Morales, Rachel Alejandro, and Noy Volante depart from their usual showbiz persona. They say they've fallen in love with theater and its challenges.
There's no room for mistake. Because when we do shootings or tapings, you can do take 2s, take 3s, you know, and ever your director wanted you to do, right, all the scenes. But with this one, you can't afford to miss a thing or even just a line or any reaction.
Ayesa pays tribute to talent in the Philippines.
Celebrities that the Filipinos know, so it attracts more people to come and say, oh, let's check this out. They're also doing a lot more current productions as well, things that are hot on Broadway. Suddenly it's opening almost, pretty soon in the Philippines. So I think it's hot and current. People realize that the quality of performances here in the Philippines is really, world class.
The stars and the music combine to make Rock of Ages a hit.
I think because of the material and the music, it opens up the theater to people who will typically not come because they think, it's songs they can't relate to.
And of course, people sing along to all the songs. I mean, we Filipinos, we know all of these songs, especially we grew up with them. It doesn't really matter what age group you belong to.
Rachel's father, Philippine 80s icon Haji Alejandro, says it's just rollicking good fun.
Oh, we had a blast. I'm here with my mom. And
How did she find it?
well, according to her, this is the best play ever that she's seen Rachel in it. And she's seen a lot of plays with Rachel.
With the right mix of raunchiness and cultural touchstones from the 80s, Rock of Ages brings generations together.
Interactive theater where people can participate in the show seems to be a big hit among the audience, and tickets are selling out fast. Don't miss out on the repeat run of Rock of Ages and relive the musical classics of the 80s for a face-melting fun time. This is G. Tanji, Rappler, Manila.
Mood meter, which gives you 8 emotions to choose from. Click how you feel and your vote comes down to the mood navigator that's in the middle of the front page. That crowdsources the mood of the day. It also gives you the top 10 stories with the most number of votes on the mood meter. If we take a look, these 10 stories have affected our readers the most. And if you take a look today, the story, the word war between China and the Philippines, well, on July 24th, worldwide Pinoy protests versus China. Interestingly enough, you have 75% happy, 18% inspired, and here you have 2% angry. The story that's gotten the most number of votes today in the last 24 hours is also about China and the Philippines. China hits back at the Philippines, you've changed. And that is 17% annoyed, 65% angry. The red leading to the mood of the day today. Most people are angry. Well, that's Rappler's Newscast for today. It's Thursday, July 18, 2013. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Maria Ressa. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.